Alright, now it's recording. Alright, Patrick. What's your job title?
Uh, I guess technically it'd be like a union laborer, but for my company, I'm the crack seal guy.
How'd you start in this career?
My dad's been doing it for since he was my age, and 2007 September of 17, he finally got me to go up to North Dakota, and then from there I've been doing it since.
What kind of qualifications you gotta have to do that? You going to school, or what do you gotta do there?
Yeah, and you can start off at the company, I guess, and work for a little bit, but if it's a union, like if the company's union, after a little bit, like they have to write you a letter of intent, and then you go to the apprenticeship training center and you present the letter of intent and your like high school transcripts or a diploma. But apparently, if you don't have that letter of intent, like they just turn you can't get in. Apparently, if you do, I guess you're very special.
Right, I get it. Do you work on mainly highways or local roads
Uh,
and neighborhood streets
at,
and stuff?
well, me starting off in North Dakota, it was just highways, and apparently our company did do highways for a while, but the past few years they've only been doing highways in North Dakota, which is paving, and then here in Missouri they're doing like subdivisions, so it's all pouring. Like so,
Pretty cold up there in North Dakota.
it during the summer I'd say it's pretty nice. Like I like it. It's usually like 75. Every once in a while it hits 80, and it's like a dry heat. So like no matter like you're not there's no humidity, but it's like as soon as somewhere between like right before September hits, you'll get a few cold days, and then out of nowhere it'll be real nice, and then somewhere like in the middle of September, it's just like you don't want to be there, and you still got to work in it for like a month.
Right. The highway's more dangerous up there or down here?
I would probably say down here because up there with the oil boom, they didn't have a whole bunch of highways, and they were having our like we were one of the main companies that made like we're making a whole bunch of different highways that fucking recircle back around to like
Yeah, I remember working up there driving on
like
those
I don't know like you call them like like there was like
roundabout.
roundabouts and other stuff, but like I can't think of the name, but there's like regular highways, and then you'd have to like go all the way down like over 20 miles to turn around and come back. So they made another highway that connected that so you could turn and like go back up a different way and take like 20 minutes off your trip instead of having to go 10 miles, 20 miles down the road and turn around.
What's the layoff time? You work all year round or?
I guess some people do if you live in like places that don't have like places that don't snow and stuff. But in Missouri, well, obviously North Dakota, their layoff time is sooner than Missouri. Like so, my first time in North Dakota, I came home the day before my birthday, which was November. But then this year, I came home October like 10th, and then I actually still worked for like 2 months here, and then they like this year we got laid off like right before Christmas. Last year we got laid off 2 weeks after the first of the year, so kind of varies. But this year was definitely shorter, so I've been laid off for like 3 months.
Is your union shop really strict on following the rules? They make sure that you're safe and they make sure that there's a protocol that's followed.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean they're definitely worried about our safety. But
You're just there to get it done. You got to get it done and get to the next one.
yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I get that.
I feel like we like if you asked for like say like well I need a respirator this or this like they go get it for you. But I feel like we should like I feel like when they tell us to do this job like they should know all the conditions and like we shouldn't have to take our time and drive up and be like hey
Right,
can I get
yeah. The union
this?
shop's supposed to provide it.
Well the union would but the company I guess it's a union company but I don't know exactly how all that works.
You know, the companies hire out laborers that are already trained.
Or but if they don't, it usually be like someone's kid or someone's friend, and then they tell the company like, no, this person works really good. I can tell he'd make us money, and then usually they'd work for the company as a non-union laborer maybe for like a month, or if the guy's like really good, like maybe 2 weeks, and then they'd call like the hall. Like 660, 110, or 42, whatever one's closest. They'd call it a representative for the hall. You come down, he comes down to your shop, you meet him, and he writes. It's like a little pink ticket
Right.
and it's like a 3 week temporary union card. So after that 2 weeks in, you're supposed to go up to the training center, show them your transcripts and stuff. Then you're actually in the union. my card actually expired for like 2 months. And
Well, that ain't no good.
well, it's not, but like our company, like they wouldn't, like didn't give me a date. Like we had weekends off, but the training center's not open on weekends, so I never got a day off during the week. And then one day I actually had a heat stroke, and they told me not to come in the next day. And then around 10 o'clock, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, well, shit, this happened, and like I still somehow go to work the next day, and then never have a chance to go again because they never let me go. So like after the heat, like had the heat stroke, and then supposed to rest all day. Instead, I drove up to High Hill and got everything done. Like who knows? Maybe I might not even be in the union now. I don't know.
You can company provide a vehicle, or they let you use a work vehicle.
For work, yeah. And recently, like when I didn't have like when I crashed my car, like they were cool with me for taking the truck. Like they didn't know I was taking it, and they found out, and they're like, "Oh, well, you just need to let us know that, and it's fine." Like they trust me, so it's cool. And when I was in North Dakota, they actually gave me my own vehicle and a gas card, and a couple times I ran my own crew.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got drug testing and stuff that you pass.
The union technically does, yes, and then everyone who gets hired, I think after a couple, like you don't have to get it, I guess, to get hired, but after you get hired, after a couple weeks, you're supposed to go to some place and take like a P test or something.
What kind of hobbies you do on your off time? You play guitar or anything?
Yeah, but
How long you been playing guitar?
since I was like, man, well, I got my first guitar probably like in second grade, but like I was like in the mood, like I didn't want to, I wanted to like be able to play it or just look cool holding it or something. Like I don't want to learn chords, and then like after a couple years of that, it finally started. So I don't know, since like maybe 10 or 11, like had a guitar but didn't know how to play it until like maybe 13, 22 now. But
Super you now, huh?
I'd say I was probably better. I was better a month or two after high school, and then like after I started doing this, sometimes I was just too tired and like just kind of didn't play it as much. So in a way, I'd feel like I lost a little bit, but I could gain it back really fast. So yeah.
Well, you know what? I got a surprise for you. You know I got a guitar sitting here, and you know I've been wanting you to play it, so I just suckered you into it.
Yeah, I don't know what to play.
What a broadcaster I would be. Screw on it.
Huh? Make some sound, show me. Play some chords. You like a slow beat or a fast beat? I go back and forth. Maybe kind of slow for now. I know E kind of good. Like equal, you know. Where was that? Where was that? Oh, there it is. Let's see what that does.
What I learned later is when you make a website for your videos or for your work or whatever thing you're trying to do next.
Don't you love the prompts I have?
Yep.
You play that? sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to get a hang of that.
I just wanted to see what you had.
I guess I like all sorts of music. Like I've been listening to a lot of funk lately, but I guess my soul would probably be into playing the blues, or maybe I'd say like I'd say like blues, but with a slight bit more of like '60s rock kind of mixed in. I don't know what to say about that. Bluesy rock, something.
So what's your free time like? What do you do to hang out?
Oh well, back in the day I used to skateboard and other stuff, but after work, like I'm pretty tired, so usually just hang out at home. But sometimes I walk down the street and hang out with my cousin. He lives 3 houses down, and he lives like 2 streets over. And sometimes I just go on walks, just because there's nothing else to do.
The adult life's kicking your ass and growing you up, huh?
No, I got out of high school and told my dad like I got out of high school early because I guess I had enough credits, and then the thing you had to do is get a letter of intent to show that you're going to be working for this job, and I got that from the superintendent. But then I don't know if North Dakota slowed up or they just out of nowhere got too many workers and they didn't realize it. I couldn't go up right away, so I was just like, well, shit. Dad told me I'm definitely going to go up, so I was like, well, I'll just take a break for like a year, maybe two, not really, just kind of hang out and have fun, and then bam, go up to North Dakota every day, live there for 6 months out of the year, and then come back. And then went to North Dakota, finally, like a year or two later, go up to North Dakota, work, come back because of the weather, then start working down here, and then I don't know, we just never went back to North Dakota for like a year and a half, and then out of nowhere, the owner of the company called me and was just like, "Hey, would you want to go up to North Dakota?" I was like me and my dad. He's like, "No, like just you." I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't know I was gonna do that, but I said yes to it." And he told me I had like 2 weeks to get my things together, and I actually left 2 days later. Like, I was kind of excited about it. Like, I didn't like the whole time I was there though. I didn't really like my second trip to North Dakota. Not the first one. The first one was like nothing but sealing. But the second trip to North Dakota, I only sealed a little bit at the very end. Like all the other stuff was new. Like I was learning how to seeing how paves work, sticking green bar into the concrete to make it stronger, laying baskets, other stuff. But after after as soon as I went to North Dakota and came back, it was just like I don't know, so kind of tired. Didn't have too much free time. But when layoff season happens, like I do have free time. But I don't know too many people. They're all still working because they have indoor jobs.
Well, hell, Patrick, that seemed to be a pretty good interview.